I think I'm back. How we doing? So Tony's here, Vishal's here, saw Anna join a minute ago. Good evening, guys. Who have we got here? Big Sexy's joined. Interesting username. that's fine. Welcome. Oh, we're getting loads of people joining whose usernames I don't know. Maybe it's going to be one of those kind of scopes. Let me know if you can hear me properly this time. We had a bit of an issue on the last scope where it's been a bit weird, wasn't it? So let me know. Nina, good evening. Give me some comments if all is good. Fanny's here as well. Good evening. All good, says Jen. Wicked. All is well. Amazing. So how are we? It's bank holiday. It's bank holiday Monday. This is the first Monday in quite a while that we've done a Periscope because I've been out interviewing casting directors the last couple of Mondays. And I sent my mum to the bloody eye hospital last Monday. So we're here, even on a bank holiday. We're here. Good evening. For those who are watching for the first time, my name's Ross. I'm an actor and a voiceover artist from Manchester in the UK. Scope twice a week. I scope once on a Monday and once on a Wednesday. On a Monday, we do something called Motivation and Mind Hacks, which is basically just that. Motivational hacks, mind hacks to help you be more productive, get more done in your life, be more motivated. And yeah, basically help you get further in your life faster. And then on a Wednesday we do a book club. I'm an actor, a lot of people on this scope are actors, but even if you're not an actor, you're going to be able to get value from everything that we're talking about, particularly tonight, because it's actually not really anything to do with the acting industry. Alright, tonight is, I'm very, very happy to say, my 100th Periscope. Carol's here for it as well. Carol, good evening. Yeah, give me some hearts if you like the fact we've got to 100. Someone's in bed in the Premier Inn in Chelmsford, says Anna Parr. That sounds very like Alan Partridge style, doesn't it? I'm just, I'm watching you in bed from a Premier Inn in Chelmsford. It's awesome. But yeah, so it's pretty good, isn't it? People saying congrats. It's good that we've got to 100. It's taken a while to get to 100. We've been doing roughly 2, maybe 3 a week. So it's been quite a few months, but we've stuck with it. We accomplished what we set out to do, which initially, when I was first sort of developing the idea for doing these live Periscopes, I put it out to the community within Acts on This and was like, is this something you think you'd be interested in? People were like, maybe. I've not got a clue what Periscope is. And I think we've formed something pretty cool. We've got a nice little community here now of people who get on the scopes regularly. I feel we all know each other way, way better than we did when we started off. And what I've done, I've learned a shed load of lessons over the last few months doing this. And I hope you guys have too, either seeing me do this and joining in with this and just all the stuff that we've talked about and learned. And I've distilled down tonight. I've got a little slide. The slides are back, guys. You'll have missed these. I've distilled it down into 5 life lessons from my first 100 Periscopes. And I hope we do like another 100 Periscopes and another 100 Periscopes after that. But I've learned so much from the first 100 that I thought, actually, you know what? Let's do a scope tonight on that, and then I'd like you guys to chip in as well with kind of what you've got from these scopes as well, those who have been on them regularly, because we've covered a shit ton of topics, haven't we, over the last 3 months, 4 months, however long we've been doing this for. I can't even remember, it seems that long, but we've covered probably every area of personal development, personal change, not just in acting, in our acting careers, but in every part of our lives. Anna's losing a connection in the Premier Inn in Chelmsford. Anna, that's because the Premier Inn in Chelmsford obviously is not providing you with quality Wi-Fi. Get to reception, tell them to turn it up to 11. So I think most people are going to be here. Barvu is here as well. Good evening. Good to see you've joined just in time before we start. So tonight, guys, are 5 life lessons from my first 100 Periscopes. You're going to know a lot of these already because it's things we've talked about, but I think it's important just to recap sometimes and just reboot and recalibrate ourselves as we go into a new week to remember and remind ourselves of these. The first one is all about, I've learned so much about consistency and the importance of consistency, because I guarantee if I'd have started out doing these scopes and I did 2 in the first week, Helen Power is here. I have to give Helen the power salute when she joins. If I'd have started off doing 2 a week, and then the week after I'd have done none, and the week after that I'd have done none, and then I'd have done 1 the week after, and then the following week I'd have done 4, and then I wouldn't have done any for 3 weeks. You guys wouldn't have had a clue where we were up to, and you'd have probably lost interest. Tony, thanks for sharing. Tracy, good evening as well. You'd have probably lost interest and be like, you know what, Ross is flaky, he says he's going to do this and he didn't do it, hello Helen, and you just wouldn't have, you wouldn't have stuck with me, and we wouldn't have been able to form the strong. I think we've got a bond like between our group, guys, not in a weird way, but I think we all look out for each other, and that's all to do with consistency. And it was the reason why I set out in the first place to do 30 periscopes in 30 days. I didn't want to start off doing one here and one there. I wanted to get both myself into a consistent pattern, and also I didn't want to indoctrinate you, but I needed to get you guys into a consistent pattern as well of expecting to join in these things. So we did one a day for the first 30 days. So that was the first thing that I learned, was 30 days of consistency will transform your life, or it could transform your life. You don't have, this is, Periscope doesn't necessarily transform your life, but if you have 30 days of consistency in your eating or your nutrition or your career goals, it could genuinely really change your life. So I've put there, the average human being lives for 27,000, this is interesting, 27,375 days. That's the average human. Okay, so fancy using just 30 of those days to transform your life. So at the start of my Periscope journey, I committed to a daily broadcast for the first 30 days, and this was due to scientific evidence suggesting it takes 30 days of consistent behaviour to form a positive habit. Now, unfortunately, most people quit their new positive habit around 3 weeks, so like 21 days in, so close to 30, but not quite enough. And that's due to a phenomenon that we've talked about on these scopes quite a bit, called habit gravity, which pulls you back down to your old ways. So if you can be aware of habit gravity, you can push through, form your new positive habit, and potentially change your life forever. So I want to ask you, what positive habit could you introduce into your life for the next 30 days? Those who are part of the Bulletproof Actor program that I launched back in February, we just did a live talk with a really a top LA high performance coach, and he gave us a whole webinar of like an hour and a half long on high performance nutrition. I know a lot of people, some people who will be watching this scope, will have taken the tips that Mark gave us in that nutrition webinar and have been, started implementing those into their life. For the next 30 days, people are going to drink more water, or they're going to have more omega-3 fatty acids in their diet, as opposed to omega-6, which are bad fatty acids. So just think of something simple that you can implement into your life for the next 30 days, and you do it every day for 30 days, and it will become part of what you do. These Periscopes now are not, I don't know if they are for you to watch, that'll depend on how good I am, but they're not a drag for me to do. I don't feel like, oh God, I don't want to do it. It's part of my life. Really look forward to engaging with you guys, and I love it. It's part of what I do. Initially it was scary and a bit like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but doing it for those first 30 days, Mary, good evening, really helped me form that positive habit. So it is just 30 days, and like it says there, you've got 27,375 days in your life on average. You might be very lucky and live more than that, but just use 30 of them, over the next month, the next 2 months, to form something positive in your life. It doesn't have to be in your acting career, it can be in your physicality, your relationship. Maybe you decide you're going to go, on more date nights with your partner, something like that. It's a really positive habit. I was talking to a friend of mine who had a baby recently. This morning we went for breakfast, and he was like, you know what, we don't spend enough time with each other. Not me and him and his wife. And Lulu, good evening. And he was like, you know what, we're making a conscious effort every week to give the new baby to his mum to look after, or her mum to look after, and they're going to go and do something together. And it's introducing this positive habit into their lives. So just try and think of something that you could do that's going to have that effect on you. But that's the first lesson I learned. 30 days got me into this. If I hadn't have done it for those first 30 days and I've been flaky and dropped out, probably wouldn't have stuck with it, and we wouldn't have got to 100. Edward, good evening. So we're now at the 100 mark. So Ed, those who have just joined, I'm talking about the 5 life lessons doing these first 100 Periscopes has taught me. Tonight is number 100. So the first one I just said is 30 days forms a positive habit. It took me 30 days of doing 1 Periscope a day to get everybody kind of in this habitual kind of group that we've got here. So is that 30 days to form a habit? Yes, it is, Anna. Anna's Wi-Fi keeps going because she's in a premiere in Chelmsford. But yeah, it is, Anna. So anything you want to do, 30 days is all it takes to ingrain that within you. Most people, like I say, they give up around day 21, day 20, day 21, and they really start to struggle. So don't be that person. Stick with it. The second point. Good evening, Sam. The second lesson that I learned, which was mega for me, And let me know if it has been for you, and if you've got this from this group, because you might have got it from this group at various times when we've been doing challenges on these Periscopes. And that's accountability. Accountability is like absolutely key to achieving anything in your life. Being held accountable for what you say you're going to do. You know what? People say to me what they're going to do or what they could have done. And I said this the other day to someone. I was like, yeah, but you didn't do it. And if you didn't do it, what you didn't do, you didn't do. End of. I don't care if you could have done it. You didn't do it. And you're not taking accountability for that. You'll blame other people why you didn't do it. So rule number 2 for me, the second lesson I learned, was accountability is key. So we've actually spent many hours on Periscope as we've been doing these and talking about the power of accountability and the need for us to be held accountable for our actions. Sam's saying she loves a good Periscope challenge. On nights when I didn't necessarily feel like scoping at 10 PM, at first when we were starting off after a super busy day, it was you guys, literally all of you here, who held me accountable, which got me through and made me get online to deliver what I promised. Because I know if I'd have said, guys, I'm going to scope every Monday and Wednesday and Friday when we first started off, or every day for the first 30 days, and I didn't, you'd have given me shit for it, or I'd have been getting comments, about, why I wasn't doing it, or people would be disappointed with me and you wouldn't trust that I would ever deliver on what I say. So if you struggle with your motivation, get yourself an accountability partner from the Act on This Facebook group, okay? And if you're not a member of that, facebook.com/groups/Act on This TV. Get in there and just put a request and go, hey guys, I'm looking for someone to hold me accountable. Anyone else need an accountability partner? And then hook up with just one other person. Discuss your goals for the week, okay? And then hold each other accountable. And it's a surefire way to get shit done. And you've got to be a little bit tough with people, because I know you guys would be if I wasn't delivering, and that'll be rightly so. So if your partner says that they're going to achieve such and such a thing in a week, and then they get onto you on the Thursday and the deadline's on the Friday, and you're like, hey Dave, where are you up to on this? And he's like, oh, I haven't done it yet. You've got to kind of give them some stick and go, why haven't you done it? I want you to justify why you haven't done it. And don't give me any of this bullshit little silly reasons for not doing it. They've got to be really, really, compelling reasons. If something's, I don't know, if someone's mum's ill or whatever, or partner's ill or something like that, then I guess that comes first. But they've not got a decent reason for not achieving what they've set out to do. You've got to give them some shit back for it and hold them accountable, because otherwise the next week when they don't hit it, they'll think, oh, it's not a problem, I'm going to get on to Sam on the phone and she's not going to be bothered anyway, she's just going to have a giggle and go, oh, well, you shouldn't have, it doesn't matter that you've not done it. Not that you do that, Sam, you were just the first name that I saw pop up on here a minute ago. But yeah, you've got to, super, to be a mentor for each other, really hold each other accountable. But that for me was key to doing this and following through with it, because I knew that if I didn't do it, then you guys would be piping up in the Facebook group going, Ross, why aren't you doing it? Or people would see me and get stick for it. So that made me get online and deliver on what I said I was going to do. So that's point number 2, and that leads on to point number 3. Again, the power of you guys, and kind of like, without you, we wouldn't have created this group that we've created. And point number 3 is there's nothing more powerful than a mastermind group. And that's absolutely what we have formed by doing this, and then through this, #cracks the whip, says Sam, exactly. Through doing these Periscopes, we ultimately came up with the idea to form the Facebook group, because we didn't have a Facebook group when we first started these Periscopes. We did for something called Bulletproof Actor, but not for Act on This. And that group now stands at about 1,400 actors strong, all really motivated, powerful, inspired actors, and it's brilliant. We formed an awesome group there. So the acting industry I've put here can often be isolating and pretty lonely. Give me some hearts if you've ever felt that before. If your friends aren't actors, it can be isolating. People don't get it and get what your lifestyle's like if they're not in the industry. Now I put here actors who just don't get it. I couldn't think of a better way to describe it really, but some people just don't get it, okay? They often choose to hoard information to themselves, view everyone as competition, be jealous of others' successes, put down others in order to make themselves feel better about where they're at, and ultimately they just stay isolated and they stay lonely. Okay, becoming part of a positive, motivated tribe or mastermind is transformational, and I hope it has been for you, because it has been for me. Rather than operating as a single battery with a finite output, okay, coming together with other batteries, so other people, unlocks unlimited output. where everybody, that's the beauty of it, everybody benefits from each other's positive energy. Okay, so seek out mastermind groups, not just for your acting career, but for everything in your life. Really can't recommend that enough. So I'm part of mastermind groups for online business, online products, software that I use to help me run my business. I'm part of groups for that, so we can brainstorm and help the developers make it better. All kinds of things. Physicality. I guess I've kind of got like a little mastermind group almost of lads at the gym who we see every single day and we work out with, and they hold each other accountable. If you're trying to lift a weight for the first time that you don't think, oh, can I do it? They'll hold you accountable. Go, right, come on, we're going to try it. And if you can't do it this week, we're going to make you try again next week, so you don't bottle out. And it just helps push each other forward. But mastermind groups, and those who have been watching the book club Periscopes we did on Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, one of his key secrets of success was the power of the mastermind. And that for me is what we've created. I think it's brilliant. And I've learned shed loads of stuff from other people. Sam's like really hot on theatre. She knows all about, I know nothing about theatre. I know everything about the TV acting industry, nothing about theatre. So I've noticed if people are asking about theatre in the Facebook group, Sam will answer questions on that. There's other people who are like Chris Stone, top director. He's hot on show reels. So we come together, and he answers all the questions about show reels. There's stuff that Chris will have learned from other actors. Everybody benefits from everybody. Whereas if you're one of these lone wolves who thinks they can do everything by themselves, you're going to be lonely. You're going to be a lone wolf for the rest of your life. So that was the third big thing, that there is nothing more powerful than a mastermind group. Give me some hearts if you agree. The fourth thing was something that has anyone listened to this week's 5 to Thrive podcast that I put out on iTunes? If you've not, go on iTunes after this and search for Act on This TV and download and subscribe to the Act on This TV podcast. It's a free podcast I put out every week called 5 to Thrive, and it's like a mini Periscope. I set out to make them 5 minutes and they all end up 10 or 12 minutes long. So it's not actually 5 to Thrive at all, but I couldn't change the name. It's like 12 to Thrive. Jen says yes, Sam says not yet. Well, I talked this week about something that I learned last week in my life, and that is never ever, and this is so important, you must never do this, never underestimate your impact. Okay, and that's point number 4. Never underestimate your impact, because you'll easily do this, and I'll talk about something that I mentioned in the podcast in a sec once I've read this to illustrate that. But I said I started out periscoping to an audience of 3 people, alright, and yet I wanted to deliver my message regardless of how many people tuned in. At times, and those who have witnessed this, when it gets bonkers, we've had over 500 people on a Periscope, most of them talking absolute nonsense, but we have had audiences of over 500 on the Periscope. But it makes no difference to me, and no difference to what I put out and the way in which I put it out. So I've received, I'm saying here, and this is amazing, I get these quite regularly, it's so cool. I've received emails and tweets from people around the world telling me how my scopes have impacted them, right? And some people have been impacted massively in a positive way, which is I'm super grateful for. But I would never have known if they didn't get in touch and email me. And there'll probably be quite a few people who are watching or do watch, and I'll never get an email from. But you've got to really never underestimate the fact that people are tuning in to what you're doing, or they may see it because it's out on the internet, or whatever you're doing. It doesn't have to be on the internet at all. I'll talk in a minute about how you can do it in everyday life. But don't try and second guess the impact you are having on the world and other people, and never ever underestimate your impact. All you've got to do is send out good into the world every day and have faith that it's being received with gratitude. And I tell a story in the podcast of a guy, this is super powerful, of a guy who woke up one morning. He was really struggling with his life, so unhappy in his life, and he decided that when he woke up it was going to be his last day on earth. He was going to go and throw himself off a bridge in America and kill himself, because he just couldn't bear to exist any longer. He was isolated, alone. I don't know exactly what his backstory was, but he didn't have anything to live for in his head. And he got up and he was walking to this bridge, and he was walking along the street, and a guy walked past him and just said, "Oh, hi, good morning." Didn't know him, just said good morning, looked him in the eye. And that little bit of kind of positive energy that guy put out, connected with this suicidal man, looks him in the eye, made that suicidal man realise that he existed. And until that point, he felt like he was invisible. He didn't have anyone in his life, that he didn't exist at all. And it was just enough impact for him to reassess his situation that day. And rather than go and throw himself off the bridge, he said, I went and I got help. And the man who said hello to him will never know the impact that he had on that guy's life. And he will never know that he saved a human life that morning. But all he did was go out and, in the tiniest way in his head, which ended up being the biggest way in this other guy's head, put some positive impacts out there in the world. And he didn't know what that was going to do to that guy. But it had huge consequences and saved a man's life. So you get a choice every single day when you walk down the street to put your head down, or you get a choice to lift your head up. You get a choice to say hello to somebody, smile at somebody. Vishal says, your scopes have helped me increase my mindset in a positive way. Well, that's amazing, thank you, and cheers for always tuning in. You being here has made me want to put more out, and that I include everybody in that who tunes into this. But yeah, you get a choice whether you say hello, whether you smile at somebody, whether you let somebody who's cut you up in the car piss you off so much that you have a bad day, snap at someone, pass that negative energy on so they have a bad day, pass that on to somebody else, and through you, that ripple effect of being negative to one person might ripple through 15 people throughout that entire day. Or you have a choice to compliment somebody, which might make their day. Wow, Anna's just said something positive, powerful there. Wow, that's well, you're doing it, Anna. You're doing it. Ultimately, you're doing it. So I'm sure you'll be proud of what you're doing. But yeah, you've got that choice, and you can pass on. No worries, Sam. Just had a phone call. You can pass on that positive energy to somebody who, through a ripple effect, will then pass that on to somebody else and someone else. So I set a challenge in the podcast, the 5 to Thrive podcast this week, for you who likes coffee, because I do. I've got a cup here. When you go and you I'm shouting coffee now, when you go and buy your next coffee in Starbucks, and I do this, try and do it once a week, turn to the person behind you and offer to buy them their drink, okay, and insist, tell them, I always go, look, I'm not being weird, I'm not trying to get you on a date or anything like that, I just try and pass it, pay it backwards, I call it, once a week, and I want to buy you your drink today. And you don't have to, but it would be really cool if you did the same for somebody else, not today, but on a different day the next time you come in. And therefore you're starting off like a chain reaction, where you're going, that guy behind me or girl behind me might have been having a terrible day, and I've just sort of, brightened it up a little bit for them. And then when they're next in, the same thing could be happening to someone behind them, and they brighten up their day, who then does it for someone else and someone else. And you, through a ripple effect, can affect hundreds, if not thousands of people out there who who just need their day brightened up. Sam says you make it sound like it's only women you approach. No, it's not, honestly. It's not. It's anybody. Like, generally, when I'm in the Starbucks in Manchester on Key Street, so if you hang out there, I'll probably buy you a drink at some point. Love it. Pass it forward, says Ed. It's a great idea, honestly. And you know what? It fills you up. I promise you, you will walk out of that place with a spring in your step going, there you go, that was really cool. Because people just don't expect it. Anna says I can buy a coffee. Anna, if you hang out at the Key Street Starbucks one day, we'll probably bump into each other in Manchester. But yeah, it's just really cool to do that for somebody. Or you might do it, I don't know. It's the same kind of feeling if you've ever, maybe like bought a homeless person something to eat or something like that. The people in Starbucks generally aren't homeless, but it's just really nice to know that you've had a positive impact on somebody's life, and you don't know what that might do for them. That person behind you in the queue might be the person who feels that they don't exist, and you've made them feel that at least they exist and they're part of the world and they're human. So that for me was point number 4. You must never underestimate your impact, no matter how small. Doesn't mean you've got to do periscopes and put stuff out on the internet and do all this kind of stuff. It could be as simple as smiling at someone. Last year I did exactly a month of random acts of kindness, and it was the best thing ever. Amazing. Well, you should do another month. That's great. definitely. But it is good. It is really, really cool. I love doing stuff like that. And it will come back. One thing that I promise you is it will come back to you. Honestly, it will come back to you. There's been some crazy little random things in my life that have happened. I used to go, back in the day when I used to go clubbing, although I went out last night, I was pretty hungover this morning for the first time in about a year. It was horrible. Well, it was great actually, but I'm never drinking again. It's pointless. I used to go out to this bar every week, and I see a guy selling The Big Issue. It's a homeless magazine we have here in the UK. For anyone, Tony, if you're in America, you won't know what that is. Selling The Big Issue, and I saw him every week, this guy called Alan, and then one week I came out and he wasn't there, and there was someone else in his place, and I was going, oh, where's Alan? He went, oh, Alan's been, I think he had some issues with drugs or something, but he'd been taken into some kind of rehab somewhere. I'm not still drunk, Sam, no. And he was like, I really want to go and see him because he doesn't really have any family, but I can't. And don't have the money to. And I was like, well, how much is it? And like train fare, it's about 60 quid or something like that. And I was pretty drunk, but I thought, you know what, I could make some positive impact here. And I went to the cash machine, I got this guy 60 quid, hoping he wasn't ripping me off and telling me some kind of sad story. That wasn't for me to worry about though. That was, if anyone asks you for help, I always think you should give it them, regardless of whether they're screwing you over, like in terms of, someone on the street says, oh, can I have a pound for, I'm trying to get somewhere to sleep tonight, and they pretend to be homeless. Give them a pound if you can, and if they are ripping you off, it's not your issue. That's for them to deal with, So I always just give if I can. And I went into the casino after that, because I used to go to the casino when we've been out drinking, again because we were just idiots. And I put a pound in a slot machine, and it gave me £90 on the first spin. And I thought, I don't know, maybe that's just total coincidence, or maybe I was getting paid back for what I just did, because I gave without expectations of receiving anything back, because I knew he could never pay me that money back. And it was great. So little things like that can happen. What you put out there, I genuinely believe you get back. I help at a homeless shelter, says Fanny, nearly every Christmas, and it's so humbling and wonderful. Brilliant. Exactly. I think everyone should do that at some stage. I think that's a great thing to do. Definitely. And that leads me on to point number 5, guys, which is the most important point, which effectively we've just been talking about for the last 3 or 4 minutes. And that is that giving is living. Alright, the more you put out, I just know this to be true from my own experience. The more you put out there, the more you get back, right? I've mentioned this multiple times, but it's been a game changer for me. Okay, when I stopped looking at what I could get out of life and focused on what I could give to the world and the people around me, everything changed. And I mean everything, right? No longer did I need to ask for things. People simply just offered it up, generally. Okay, and this rang true in every area of my life: finances, relationships, physicality, spirituality, emotional mastery. Right? When you give with no expectation on return, you will really begin to live your life at the very highest level. And I mean that. I've experienced that myself. People want to be around you. People want to go into business with you. People want to just call you up when something cool's happening because they'll think you'll enjoy it. People will email you things they've seen on the internet. They're like, oh, I know you're into this, you might enjoy this. They'll invite you to events. They will offer you work. People appreciate other people who are doing good, effectively, for the world. And if you can help other people, they will help you, and you won't have to ask for it. And if you can give without any expectation of what you're going to return, I don't know how it works or why it works, but it works. Things just start happening for you that don't happen when you just look at what you can get from the world and what it's going to give you. It almost seems quite ironic in a way that, like, the more you give, the more you get, because a lot of people in this industry, particularly in the acting industry, just want to take. What can I get? Oh, I've heard about an audition, I'm not going to tell anybody else about it because I don't want to tip off the competition. Oh, I've heard such and such a body's doing general auditions, so I won't tell anyone about that because I just want to go. It's all about, me a lot of the time. And people in this industry, I don't know, it doesn't work for you when you're like that. And life, I think, and I don't know why, I don't know who makes up the rules, how it works, but it works. When you just give, you live. I like that because it rhymes. So I want to end on a quote that I put in this podcast as well this week. I'm meeting a few London people at the Welcome Collection on Friday around 4:30. London people. So everyone else, if they're out wherever that is, go and hook up with Sam. Some cool events on and cake. Post it in the. I think you might put that in the Bulletproof Actor group, Sam. But post it in the Acts on This Facebook group as well. There's quite a lot of London members there. They might want to hang out as well. So I used this quote in this week's 5 to Thrive podcast by an awesome guy called Les Brown. Anyone heard of Les Brown? He's like an American author, motivational speaker, bit of a guru, really. He's quite evangelical in the way that he speaks. He's almost a bit like a pastor preaching, so he's quite loud. But what he says is very powerful. It's all good stuff. And he says this, and I think it's great. If you take anything away from tonight, take this. In every day, there are 1,440 minutes. That means we have 1,440 daily opportunities to make a positive impact. So just use one. If you can use one of your 1,440 daily opportunities to make a positive impact, you've still got another 1,439 to spend on yourself. Okay, so just use one of those minutes to hold the door open for someone. Help a struggling mum or dad who's trying to get a kid's buggy onto the train or the tram or the bus. Smile at somebody. Say good morning to the old person who's walking down the street, who back in their day was probably used to people saying good morning to them. These days we just don't seem to do it, do we? People just seem to keep themselves to themselves. It surprises me every time I go on the Underground in London. There can be 300 people on the Underground and it can be silent. Why? It doesn't have to be. Thank you to the bus driver. A few people do say thank you to the bus driver. A few people do, yeah. Even that, yeah, people get off the bus without even saying thanks. The guy's got you to your destination safely. Same on the train. When I get off the train, I always say thanks and have a good day to the train guard. They look at you strange when you say hello. They do, Carol, but that's their problem. It's their issue. Let's bring it back. Let's bring back the say hello, good morning challenge. But the challenge is that coffee one. Do let me know. Tweet me at Ross A. Grant if you're going to take up the coffee challenge and you're going to buy the person behind you a cup of coffee. Get a selfie with them and then tweet me it. Show me that you've done it. Northerners, though, are friendly, says Fanny. Yeah, definitely. I'm Northern. I think we're pretty friendly up here. Definitely. Carol, Sam says you're still a cold shower hero. When we did the cold shower challenge, that was another one of the 100 scopes we did. I always smile and say good morning. I will take the challenge, says Carol. Amazing. Tony, what's it like in the States? I think people over there are way more open to saying hello, aren't they? And good morning. I love the way people call you sir in America as well. Good morning, sir. What can I do for you? It's so different to how it is over here. I think maybe because it's a bit more of a tipping culture in the States. But do people say good morning and hello? I'd like to go back to like really old English times where you walk down the street and people doff their caps. Morning, Mr. Grant. Yeah, it'd just be amazing, wouldn't it? But maybe not. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But people over here just don't seem to say hello, good morning enough. Sometimes, but we get quiet out in public too, says Tony. Well, let's all try and bring it back a little bit. Definitely. And open doors for people. I was just taught at school, Carol, you had to do that. It's like one of our school rules, so it's ingrained in me now. That whole 30 days to make a habit. I was at school for 10 years, 12 years, more years than that even. It's a total habit for me now. I just always, without thinking, look behind me and hold the door open for somebody. Even if there's nobody there, I still do it. It is good. People would have to start wearing hats more for that though. Yeah, they would. Hat challenge. We had to stand and curtsy when the teacher entered. Wow, no way. That's like a bit like the Queen, isn't it? Have a little bow. We had to stand up when the teacher came in the room. We couldn't say stay seated. We had to stand up until they told us to sit down. We had to wear blazers and stuff. It's all very strict at my school. But it created lovely people, I think, mostly. And got hands caned. Oof, never got caned. Not like that anyway. I love it when Ali G goes, so all the kids here getting caned. And the guy's like, oh yes, we cane them a lot. No, wait a minute, respect, yeah? You're getting your kids caned. He meant something completely different. Couldn't take blazer off unless teacher said you could. We had that, Sam. Even if it was sweltering in the summer, you had to sit there with your blazer on, sweating, because your teacher was like, no, can't take your blazers off. Going, what? It's ridiculous. You're too good at that accent, says Fanny. I'm just, I'm pretty urban, Fanny, basically, when it comes to Ali G. I think he based his character on me because I'm quite down with it and that sort of stuff. Awesome. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's the five life lessons I learned from these 100 Periscopes. So thank you to everybody, regardless of whether you've been part of one or all 100. It doesn't matter. I appreciate every last one of you for tuning in from all around the world. Tony man in the States, everybody from everywhere in the UK, wherever you are. Appreciate you. Cheers, Ed. And yeah, here's to another 100. God knows what we're going to talk about for another 100 of these, guys. But I will be back on Wednesday for book club. And I don't know what it is yet. I've not chosen the book. If you've got any really great recommendations for a book that we should look at, either on acting or personal change, personal development, anything that's going to help us. I bet there'll be more Americans by 200, says Tony. Hopefully, Tony, we need to open up the American market, son. That's what we need. But yeah, I've got quite a few books on here, because I buy books all the time that I haven't read. So I could choose one of those at random. Or we can, you guys can recommend one, or I might even buy another one by Wednesday. Who knows? Gonna get my brother in LA on this, says Anna. Awesome, Anna. Get him along. Creating Money, great book, says Lulu. Creating Money, we could all do with creating money. Definitely. But I'll have a think and I'll let you know on the Facebook group. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, please come and join, particularly if you're on the replay of this and you're not watching live, you've never seen the Periscopes before. Go to facebook.com/groups/ActOnThisTV. Request to join, and I will either add you or one of the admins will add you to the group, and it will be great to have you part of this. And so I'll be back, guys, Wednesday, 10 PM for book club. But remember this, before I go, just have a read of that again. In every day, there are 1,440 minutes. So that means we have 1,440 daily opportunities to make a positive impact. So use one of your minutes today before you go to bed, if you can, to make a positive impact. Text somebody you've not texted for a while. Do something cool tomorrow. Buy that coffee for somebody this week. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Do tweet me if you do buy someone a brew. At Ross A. Grant or at ActOnThisTV. Awesome. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you with you soon. Bye for now.